Okay. That was your chance. Welcome to your midday yoga class. Give yourself a little pat on the back for making it, prioritizing yourself. If I can't be heard well, can you please just let me know? Okay, so we're going to begin in a seated position today. We will move into, what are we going to do today? Some forward extensions. Forward folds are said to be, forward folds are said to be calming for the mind, but they're not always calming for our hamstrings. Sorry, let me close the door. Loud. So instead of forward folds, we'll do some forward extensions, which are different. So go ahead and get yourself into a seated position. If you would prefer to lie down, then lie down. We're going to move the arms in sync with the breath to begin. So if you want to lie on your back with your feet on the ground to do the same thing, great. Okay. So take a moment to begin to separate from all the things that you've been up to this morning. Maybe take a few breaths in and out the nose, maybe, or maybe out the mouth. Maybe take a look around your room that you're in. And although it's a room you've been in before, this is not a new room for you. Allow yourself to focus in on one thing that draws your attention. It's not going to be a new thing. This is not a new room. But maybe inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the mouth, and let your eye be drawn to something that is interesting to it. And just take a moment to check that thing out. So purposefully slowing down the to-do list in the mind. You've made it here. You've done everything you could do so far today. Just allowing ourselves to be here, noticing this object and our breath. And then starting to draw your attention inward towards yourself. Begin to lengthen the spine, press down your sit bones or your legs, your feet, whatever's touching the ground, press it down to help to ground and stabilize the legs and the hips. And then just gently, almost imperceptibly, lengthen the spine up from your hips, broaden the collarbones, soften the neck and jaw, and lengthen up through the crown of the head. Even if it doesn't feel like you're lengthening up through the crown of the head, have your intention be that, lengthening up through the crown of the head. So we're going to begin today with breath and arm movement syncing up. So the arms will extend out to the sides. You could turn your palms down, you could turn your palms forward, just kind of decide what feels best for you. And check in with your rib cage, that it's not pushing forward. Draw the ribs in and take the belly button into your spine. Exhale all your air out through the nose. We're going to breathe through the nose as best we can here. The next time you inhale, we'll extend the arms out to the side, spread the fingers wide, have there be energy in the arms, and at the top of your inhale, let the arms come as close together as they can comfortably, the hands as comfortably as they can. And then with your exhale, turn your palms out and push the arms out and down the length of your exhale. So at the bottom of your exhale, the very end of it, is when your fingertips would touch the ground. So that when you inhale, your arms extend out and up, collarbones get broad, shoulder blades might get broad or go down the back. And at the top is when the transition of the breath happens. And rather than your arms just pushing down and up, let the two begin to have a relationship. And if possible, allow your inhale to move your arms and your exhale to move your arms. It'll be different than the cadence of my arms because your breath is different than the cadence of my breath. But rather than the brain moving the arms up and down and breathing just happening, let it be a focus point for your brain. That the brain is very much wrapped up in the inhale through the nose, the arms extending out and up. And when they get as close together as is comfortable, the exhale happening through the nose if possible. The arms extending down, out and down. So it's not just up and down, it's also out. We're gonna do 5 more rounds. Notice if your tongue is moving with your arms. And if possible, allow your tongue to just hang out for this. And notice if your head is pushed forward. And if it can, just have your head be in line with the rest of your spine. It's not forward, it's not back. The base of the body presses down on purpose. Feeling the breath move throughout the torso. You might be at 5 already, and if you are, we'll bring the palms to touch at the center of the chest. And if you're not quite there yet, just take your time, finish up your rounds. And if you'd like to bring the palms to touch at the center of the chest, or place one hand on top of the other, or another way that you connect, and notice what the breath feels like now. And perhaps say hello to yourself for the first time today. Not you doing anything, you being. We'll amplify this beingness, if you'd like, with the sound of Om 3 times. Inhale. Om. 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 With your next exhale, collarbones stay broad, and we'll release the forehead toward the chest, bowing the mind to an uplifted heart. And then releasing the hands to the thighs, keeping the collarbones broad. We'll lift the chin parallel to the earth. And if the eyes are closed, open them and roll forward. If your legs are crossed or if you're seated on your shins, all of that is good. We'll just take a moment to stretch the legs. We'll tuck the right toes, slide the heel back, wrists are right underneath the shoulders, fingers are spread well. We'll press down through the front and the back of the palm. So right at the base of the fingers and at the base of the palm evenly. We're just lifting the arms all the way from the forearms up away from the hands. So we're not dumping in the wrists. Take the shoulder blades down the back and bring the belly button to the spine. And then we'll switch legs. Stretching the left heel back. Notice your rib cage, see if it's popping forward, and notice if you can draw it in even just a little bit. Belly button comes up to the spine. And coming back to tabletop. And then we'll move the spine around a bit here. Tabletop, we'll go through cat and cow a few times. Shoulder blades can stay down the back or away from the ears, depending on which way you're moving here. And you can always add in. All we're doing here is breathing and moving the spine. You feel the articulation of your spine. Draw the focus of your mind into the rounding, the spaciousness between the vertebra, and the lengthening. So we're not just dumping, right, into the low back and into the shoulders. We can get long and take the chest forward and take the sit bones up and press down to roll the spine. You can also move side to side, hips sway, hips and head sway left and right. As you roll around and arch your back. Just kind of exploring for another 3 rounds of breath, what feels good for you. Breathing into all the little nooks and crannies of the body. Good. And then we're going to pause here in tabletop. We're going to move through, do a little movement here of down dog to plank pose. We'll move around a little bit at the beginning and then slow down at the end. So we're just warming up a bit here. So we'll move into down dog. We won't stay long and we'll go into plank and I'll talk about each position. So tuck your toes, spread the fingers well, have your hands be at least as wide as the shoulders. Your feet can be as wide as your hips in downward facing dog. So press the hips up and back, arms are extended. And when you get your hips up, go ahead and lift your heels off the ground and push your hips as high as they'll go without your back coming forward, without your back coming forward. So you can lift your heels and hips as high as they'll go and lengthen your legs as straight as they'll go. Go ahead here and feel that your thigh bones are pushing back in space. Inhale. And as you exhale, start to come toward plank without dropping your thighs. Without dropping your thighs. You're going to need to do some work there. Take your belly button to your spine and draw the ribs in. And then with your breath, exhale back to downward facing dog. Let your thighs lead the way. So we'll try it again. You can lift your heels, bend your knees, lift your heels, lift your hips as high as they'll go without your back coming forward. And then straighten your legs so your thighs feel like they're really high to the sky and pushing back. On an exhale, keep your thighs pulling back as you start to come toward a plank position. And bring your belly button to spine and your ribs slightly in. Take an inhale.
And as you exhale, thighs push you back to downward facing dog. I hope you're starting to feel a little bit of heat. One more time. Knees bent, hips and heels high, high, high. Back doesn't come forward. Press the fronts and backs of the palms of the hands down. The legs are long now. The thighs are pushing back. On an exhale, keep the thighs pulling back as you start to come toward a plank position. Belly button to spine, ribs come in. Keep those thighs pulling back. Exhale to downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, look forward and start to walk your feet forward and your hands back. Have your feet nice and wide, wider than your hips. Release your hand from the mat, bend your knees a little bit, and drop the hips low. So your torso starts to come between your thighs. Release your head, release your arms. Bring the weight forward into the toe mounds of your feet, so just at the base of your toes. Bring the weight forward there and spread your toes and extend them forward. And release shoulder blades away from your neck. Take a nice big inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Good. So from here, the weight stays forward in the feet. Press your heels down. Reach the arms long beside you and use your arms long beside you to pull your chest up. So reach your arms back and up to lift your chest up and come to stand. Good. We'll start to stand in Tadasana. So walk your feet as close together as they'll go. Not all legs come together, not all feet come to stand together in Tadasana. Yours will just come as close as they come. Good. And press the heels down. So let's bend the knees a little bit. Press your heels down to lengthen your legs. So you can try it again. We'll bend the knees. Press your heels down to start lengthening your back from the low back, buttocks toward the thighs, thighs to the calves, calves to the heel. Push beyond the floor to get taller, to get longer. And remember those thighs in downward dog and plank that we were pulling back? We'll go ahead and try that here. Pull the thighs back to help, not the knees, the thighs back to keep weight in the heels, and then push down with the fronts of your feet. Push the outer feet down. And maybe you can hear the cats. They want to tell you something too. So we have a strong base. So that's the heels going down, the outer legs going down, the toe mounds going down. You can stretch your toes forward to see if that helps you to bring some awareness to the fronts of your legs. But then what about the inner feet? Well, the arches lift the inner legs up. It's not that the big toe mounds and the inner heels lift. It's not that the whole inner foot lifts up. It's that the arches lift up as the big toe mounds and the heels push down. The inner heels push down. So there's a sense of downwardness in the legs, apart from really at this moment, the inner legs lifting up. Belly button to spine, ribs come in. We'll inhale and extend the arms forward and up. See if the arms can move about the same height. You know, like the head doesn't come forward, one arm's not out, the other arm's not forward, like they're moving together, and exhale, release them down. So we're going to try again, and we'll just move with your breath. So strong legs in Tadasana. Inhale, extending arms forward and up in Urdhva Hastasana. And the exhale, extend your arms forward and down. So we're gonna do 3 more rounds. Breath moving the body. So the arms are moving about the same pace. The shoulder blades are going down the back. The arms are relatively reflecting each other. Belly button to spine. And the low ribs don't pop out. Something makes that harder for me. I wonder if something makes that a little harder for you. Okay, we're gonna add on here. So as we inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms forward and up. We'll exhale and release the arms forward and down. Let's step the feet wider than the hips. Not super wide, just a little wide. I'm gonna stand to the side here. If you're utilizing a mat, about as wide as your mat. Your feet are about as wide as your mat. The outer edges of the feet are as wide as the mat. We're gonna move through Ardha Uttanasana and Tadasana, okay? So we'll inhale, extend the arms forward and up. See about having Tadasana legs with the feet apart, it's different. Exhale with the arms overhead and extend forward, thighs pull back. Take your inner thighs back. Take your inner thighs back as you come forward. And about halfway there, bring your hands somewhere onto your legs to hold on. Try not to hold on at the joints. Inhale, I'm gonna lift. I'm gonna lift my legs to help to lengthen the front of my body. So what do you need to do to take your shoulder blades back and extend the front of your body forward? And as you exhale, keep some of that length and come any amount forward and down, forward and down. On an inhale, we're going to take the arms long beside the body and lift up. Lift the arms back and up to lift the chest up in Tadasana. Exhale completely. Inhale, extend the arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana in Tadasana. Exhale, extend forward, inner thighs pull back to Ardha Uttanasana, hands at the legs. Inhale, shoulder blades down the back, front of the body lengthens forward. Keep the front of the body long as you exhale and maybe pull on the legs with the arms to lengthen forward and down, any amount. Inhale, arms reach back and up to lift your chest all the way up. This is a nice way to come up if there's low back issues. And exhale completely. One more time. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, inner legs lift. Exhale, Ardha Uttanasana, extend forward, inner thighs back, hands to legs. Inhale, extend the front of the body forward, the shoulder blades back. Exhale, pull on the legs to extend the spine forward and down. Arms long beside your body, lifting back and up. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, release, relax, and let go. Inner feet come together. Good. Take a moment here in Tadasana. So again, if the inner feet don't come together, the legs come as close together as possible. Press down with the backs of the heels, or the heels, sorry, the low back lengthens. Extend the outer hips to the outer feet. Lift the arches and extend your toes forward. Crown of the head extends up as the hips press down. Slow, full inhale. Nice long exhale. Beautiful. We're going to step the feet wide now. Now this time, I'll show you my feet. We want to have about a leg distance between our feet. So this is pretty wide. So before we had our feet as wide as our hips or together, wide as our hips, and now the feet are gonna be so wide. So I do have a sticky mat here, you can see. And this is the length of the sticky mat, right? So my legs are really wide. So this is a little extreme, but if you took a leg and put it between your feet, would that be about the length? That's how far apart we want our legs, is a leg distance apart. See if you can do that. I'm gonna stand to the side here to show. So let's take the heels slightly out. Take the heels slightly out. We're gonna keep the hips where they are. They're not gonna go forward or back. This is Prasarita Padottanasana with a variation. So hands on the hips, shoulder blades down the back, belly button to spine, ribs come into the body. Elbows toward each other on your back. Take a nice big inhale and extend your right leg out and down. You're not moving anything, you're just purposefully pressing the right foot down to the ground, but extending from your hip. And then same thing with your left leg. Extend your left leg all the way out and press the foot down. So you're utilizing the strength of your legs. Inhale, heel toe the feet back together. Heel toe the feet back together and step the feet together. Okay, one more time. Step the feet nice and wide. Extend your right leg long so there's not a bend in the knee, and press that foot down so you're using it on purpose. Heel is slightly out. Extend your left leg from your hip long. Extend, 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 and press that foot down. Press the heel down. Press the toe mounds down. Lift the arches up, 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 up. Hands to hips. Draw the ribs slightly in if you can, and elbows come together. Take a nice big inhale and look up. As you exhale, we're going to hinge at the hips and start to come forward halfway, like Ardha Uttanasana, halfway. Hands come to the ground underneath your shoulders. Press, extend with both legs again, and press the feet down. Shoulder blades go down the back and the hips aren't going to move. As you inhale, lift your inner legs up, 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 up. As you exhale, we're going to extend the arms forward like downward facing dog. If possible, the palms are on the ground. Use your legs more and soften the jaw. Use your legs more and soften the jaw. Extend your toes forward rather than clutching them. Lift the arches up. Take a nice long inhale. Release shoulder blades down the back as you exhale. Good. Inhale, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Oh, sorry, that was my cat. Good. And here, with the hands underneath the shoulders, heel toe your feet together once. Heels in, toes out, knees bent. Drop the hips and lift your spine up, lift your torso up. So now the knees are wide. It's a little transition into this kind of goddess shape. So we went from the legs long, heels out, to bringing the feet in just once, heel toe, and then heels in, toes out. So the knees will bend. We can drop the hips and lift the torso up. This is a big rotation in the hips. What wants to happen here is that the knees want to fall in and the buttocks wants to pop way out. So let's bring some intentionality to the outer feet, the pinky toe edge of the feet. Press them down and press the heels down. Both sides, the left side and the right side. The outer feet push down, the heels push down. The outer feet press down, the heels push down. To start to lengthen the inner thighs and to protect the knees so that they're not fully falling in.
Here we'll take a big inhale, extend the arms out and up, and as the arms and torso lift, lengthen your legs and lift all the way up. Lengthen your spine, press your heels down. We're gonna go back into goddess pose as you exhale. Extend the arms out and down. Hands come to the thighs. Good. Remember, outer feet press down, heels press down. Again, inhale, extend the arms out and lift up. Extend the legs up, look up. Exhale into this goddess variation. And one more time. Inhale, lift on up. Ribs in, get long through your torso. And exhale. Beautiful. So we'll transition. Toes forward, heels out, hands to the ground. Heel toe your feet just about as wide as your hips. And then let's walk forward into downward facing dog. Nice big inhale and downward facing dog. Open mouth, exhale. Good, inhale to tabletop. And exhale, let's come to a seat. As you come to a seat, we'll have the legs in a V shape. Basically the same shape as Prasarita Padottanasana. But when we're on the ground, it's called Upavishta Konasana. So take a look at your right leg and see that your knee, your thigh, your knee, and your toes are all pointed upward. They're not rolling in, they're not rolling out, just up. Spread those toes. See if they can spread. That will bring more awareness to the musculature of the leg. Good. And now the left leg. We want to see that the thigh, the knee, and the toes are all pointing upward, that the toes are spreading. And once you see that, just go ahead and see, are my legs on the same plank? You know, maybe you're not in a space where I'm all like crooked and stuff right now. So like the camera's crooked and my mat's crooked and all stuff. So I'm really trying to see, are my right and left legs the same length going forward, or is one way out, or is one forward of the other? So I'm just really, is my body having a similar experience here from left to right? We'll take the fingertips just beside the hips or the heels of the hands beside the hips, whatever works best for you. One is definitely more of an outward and expansive experience, and one is more lengthening, but sometimes it's just about the length of the arms and what feels good. We're pushing the sit bones down. And by pressing the hands or the fingers down, we get a little bit of length in the spine, which might help us to push the sit bones, the left one and the right one and the left one down. Feel them, push them. You do it. Good. So as they're pressing down, press the heels, the back of your heels down. So we're taking all of the awareness away from the knees. We're lengthening the backs of the legs in a moment. We're starting already, but press the bottoms of your heels, not the backs, the bottoms forward, away. So the sit bones and heels are pushing down. And then the bottoms of the feet, especially the heels, are extending forward. Check out your ribs, draw them into your body, and see if you can bring your belly button to your spine. Take the outer upper arms back and take a nice big inhale, lengthen up to the crown of the head. And exhale, release, relax, and let go of everything. When you released, relaxed, and let go of everything, did you become a little bit of a slinky? Did you kind of fall in and your knees kind of bent? And if so, that means that you are doing something. So congratulations. All right, again, Upavishta Konasana, we'll add in here. We'll press the sit bones and heels down. You can add the arms if that helps, and sometimes it does. The shoulder blades go down the back. Lengthening the legs, the backs of the legs away from the hips, so we're stretching the bottoms of the feet forward. Belly button to spine, ribs come in. We're going to add Urdhva Hastasana. We did this one earlier. So we'll inhale, extend the arms forward and up. Stay here as you exhale, shoulder blades down the back. Belly button to spine, low ribs come in, sit bones go down. Inhale, get longer through your torso. Leave space between your shoulders and your ears. Spread the fingers well. Inhale, get longer. Exhale and extend forward through your torso. Try not to let your belly fall down. Remember those top thighs earlier and how they were pulling back? Let them pull back now. You just come forward any amount. You're not going down, just coming forward. And then press your legs down and come up. And release, relaxing, let go. Good. Okay, one addition here. Sit bones and heels press down, Upavishta Konasana. The toes, knees, and thighs point up. Legs, the back of the legs extend because we're lengthening through the bottoms of the feet, nothing new. This time, let's take the right arm, lift it up, inhale. As you exhale, gently sweep it behind you anywhere and place your fingertips at the ground. So rather than bending your elbow and pushing your back body back, pushing yourself back in space, use it as a kickstand to keep your spine long. And then we're going to start to turn our ribs toward the right leg, but watch your left foot and your left sit bone. Don't let it lift. You can bend that left elbow a little bit to help you turn. Bring the rib cage. The belly's going to turn, but can your left ribs come toward the right without your left sit bone lifting up or your left toes turning? You can look and see it. You're keeping awareness here. Keep extending through both legs. Keep the heels and sit bones pressing down. One more breath. Get long through your torso as best you can. Little baby turn as you exhale. Inhale back to center. Good, and relax. Good, other side. Sit bones and heels down, extending through the legs. Draw the ribs and belly button in. And now we'll inhale the left arm up and exhale to extend it back anywhere. It lands anywhere behind you is great. I'm putting my fingertips on the ground so that my spine stays long rather than rounding back, right? Spine stays nice and long. So I'm not dumping into my hips. So we're going to start to turn the right ribs toward the left. And we'll utilize this front arm to help. So as the sit bones push down and the heels push down, legs extend evenly. We'll exhale and gently turn right ribs toward the left. Now the right knee and toes, they stay pointing to the sky. The right sit bone continues to press down. And we get long through the spine, through the crown of the head. Nice big inhale here. And exhale to come back to center. Good. Let's bring the hands behind the knees to bend the knees. Good. And then come on to the back body. As you come onto your back, you can let your hips be nice and heavy, but then you can use your arms to help with this. Your hands, you can hold on to the outside edges of your mat if you're using one, and pull the crown of your head back in space. So it takes the flesh from your back and pulls it away from your head and neck. So it'll feel longer in your back body. Good. So from here, we'll heel toe the feet together and press the legs together. Press the legs together. Press the inner legs, the inner feet, the calves together. And notice what that feels like in your belly and your back. And then relax. Good. So here you can hold on, if you're utilizing a mat, you can hold on to the outer edges of your mat with your hands and pull down toward your feet with your hands. If you're not, if you're not using a mat, right? If you're using a blanket, you're gonna have to really push down with your hands. It will help. So we'll press the inner legs together. On an exhale, draw the knees closer to you. So lift the legs up and come to a tabletop position with your legs. And the heels will sometimes drop toward the buttocks. So let's bring the heels in line with the knees-ish so that the table is actually your shins. The table is your shins. Press the inner legs together. Take the outer upper arms down. You can even draw your shoulder blades into your body here. If you pull your hands away from your head, see if that helps to lengthen your low back any amount. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, press the inner legs together and start to extend your legs any amount through the inner legs. So the legs might come to 90 degrees, bottoms of the feet face the sky, or something different, but lengthen from your inner legs. Keep your back on the ground, keep the outer upper arms down. Exhale, bend your knees, and place your feet on the ground. Hands come to the low belly, feet are wide, knees are wide as your hips. Inhale through the nose, let the low belly expand, broaden into your hands. Exhale, feel the belly fall, feel the hands fall into the belly, feel the low back expand. And again, inhale, feel the hands rise. And exhale, feel them fall. One more round. Good. One more time, we'll heel toe the feet together, legs together, Urdhva. Prasarita Padasana.
Had like a moment there with my brain. Legs pressed together here. Feel your back body on the ground. And if it's not, what do you need to do to get your back body on the ground? Do you need to pull the buttock flesh away from your hips towards your feet? Towards your feet to get the low back to lengthen? Do you need to move the flesh from your mid back to get it more spread out, right? Like get your back on the ground and then press the inner legs and feet together. Hold onto your mat or press down into the ground. Take your shoulder blades slightly in and push those outer upper arms down. The back body stays on the ground. As you exhale, press the legs together and lift them to tabletop or float. What a word, float. And the shins are your table. The shins are your table. Press the inner legs together. Take the belly button toward the spine. Draw your ribs in. See if that helps soften your jaw. On an inhale, extend your legs from your inner legs. Let your inner thighs lengthen through your inner calves, through your inner feet. Press the legs up through the arches. Take a nice long inhale. And as you exhale, bend the knees, place the feet on the ground, broaden the feet and knees as wide as your hips, and place your hands on your belly. 3 slow, full inhales, 3 long, full exhales, in and out the belly. Okay, last time here, we're going to extend the arms out to the sides, and they're not going to be as high as your shoulders, but they won't be as low as your hips. So somewhere in between, right beside your hips and shoulder height. So somewhere in between, palms will be down so that you can push your hands down and away from you to help your back stay nice and long on the ground. And then release. Good, and one more time. Press the hands down and away from your body. See if that helps you to lengthen your spine. And then release. Good. We'll heel toe the feet back together. The inner feet, calves, knees, thighs inner thighs will all press in. You could even take your outer hips and squeeze them inward. On an exhale, we'll float the shins to tabletop and press the hands down and away to help that back body stay on the ground. Inhale here. As you exhale, keep squeezing the legs and gently release the knees toward the right. Inhale back to center. Squeeze the legs, and as you're squeezing, release them toward the left. Inhale, center. Squeeze the legs, exhale toward the right elbow or shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left, elbow or shoulder. Press the hands down and away. So as you go side to side with your breath, when your knees go right, the left shoulder goes down. Press that right hand down and away to help that left shoulder. When you go to the left side, pressing your legs together, press that left hand down and away more to help the right shoulder go down. So we'll go 3 more rounds. Jatara Parivartanasana. If the knees go toward the elbow, that's great. If the knees go toward the shoulder, that will round the spine more. That might feel really good. But try and press those legs together. We'll keep the low back nice and tight in a good way, nice and contained. And when you're complete, you'll come to center and feet come on the ground. Your feet and knees will be wide, hands on the belly, breathing into the belly. Feel the hands rise and fall with that breath. Feel what happens in your low back when your breath fills into the bowl of the belly. Beautiful. So we'll finish up here with a short bridge. So you'll have your feet and knees as wide as the hips, but you'll just want to bring your feet as close or far away so that you don't feel that the knees are burdened when you lift your hips. So that's one thing that I want to say at the beginning here, okay? So the shoulder blades, the inner parts of the shoulder blades are going to roll into the body like chicken wings moving away from the ground. You can do that here. So your outer upper arms push down and they stay down. Your arms can be long beside you, beside your torso. Here, see if you can take the belly button to the spine and draw the ribs in and draw your pelvic floor up. Press the heels down. Exhale to lift your hips up, vertebra by vertebra. The thighs extend to your knees, but the pelvis, the pelvic floor, keeps lifting up. As if your spine were a string of pearls. When you exhale, lower down from the base of the neck, vertebra by vertebra, lengthening your buttock to your heels. We're going to do 3 more rounds. Pressing the heels down, keeping the ribs and belly button in, outer arms pressed down as the spine lifts up. Thighs move toward the knees, but the pelvic floor stays lifting. And then you slowly lower down, meticulously, as slow as you can exhale. Heels continue to push down. You'll move with your breath. The jaw won't do this for you. It's going to have to be the body. So see if you can start to release your jaw. Maybe just do 1 more in case your jaw was tight on that last one. And when you're complete, we'll do the opposite with the legs. So we'll bring the legs in toward the body, fingertips behind the knees or on the shins, and give yourself a slow hug in, maybe rock side to side. Maybe circles with your ankles and your toes move as you go around one direction and the other. Maybe you open and close your jaw a couple of times. And then let's make our way to Shavasana. Final resting pose. You might lie down, you might sit against a wall, you might lie on your side, you might lie on your belly. And take a moment to make yourself any amount more comfortable. Make some adjustments, extend the legs, extend the arms. Begin to release the controlled breath. There's a transition that happens in the breath from being controlled to a natural breath. So taking a few moments here to simply experience your softening inhales and exhales. And then feeling the ground beneath you. As you notice a soft inhale, let the hands slide onto your belly. And with another soft inhale, let the knees bend. And when you're ready, extend one arm across your ears. So as you roll to your side, there's a pillow for your head. And then pressing down with your hand and forearm to roll up to a seat. And just take a moment here to notice how you feel, what's present in your body. And then if you'd like, we'll end with the sound of Om one time. Inhale. Om. And
exhale, bowing the mind to the wisdom of your heart. Shanti, shanti, shanti.